Hello, welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brendan.
My name is Aiden.
We are two brothers. We are writing a book together and
Bringing you along for the ride.
bringing you along for it. I think so far we're in a funk, but it's been still going well. Ultimately,
Honestly, I think
you know,
so. We just posted our 22nd video or something.
27th.
28th video.
I do not have a handle on this.
No.
It's okay. Anyways, today we're going to talk about Chapter 7, which Aiden wrote while he was gone. And, huzzah!
Huzzah!
Alright, so before we get started, I do have to talk about something very important.
What?
The Red Hoodie is back. It's, we went through summer, had it all winter,
Oh, yeah.
and now it's back. I have a goal to look the exact same in every one of these videos.
I mean...
The only time I looked different so far was the swag.
Oh, yeah.
Or the sweatshirt.
Yeah, Writing Quest sweatshirt.
But other than that, the only thing that's going to change about me is my hair is going to get grayer and I'm going to get wrinklier.
It's going to look weird when you're like 80.
If we're doing this when we're 80, I don't even know.
That means that we were incredibly successful, Brendan.
Incredibly not. But anyways, Chapter 7. So Aiden went on a little vacation. He wrote this while he was there.
I was in a cabin in the woods.
I have read it, but I kind of forgot it because it's been a while. So we're going to read it,
And your mind's going to be blown.
I guess. My mind's going to be blown. So here we go.
All right. Am I reading it or are you?
I'll read it. So I believe, just to set up a little bit here, Agorath and Guyan had just fled the city because the Wraith Walkers had attacked. And the last time we'd seen Ro, obviously she had been sent through the import. So that was like...
If you don't know,
Ro
was running frantically, trying to get away from a monster, and she had a wolf pup in her hands. Guyan and Agorath were trying to save her. She unwittingly ran into the town square where the import was, and then she got caught in it, and then...
That was like 3 chapters ago.
That was like 3
So we
chapters
haven't
ago.
seen her in a while, which we did on purpose. Now, maybe in editing, I don't know if we end up moving it closer. I suppose it depends on how it reads.
I actually thought about making that the end of book 1 recently,
Like,
but we'll get into that.
Okay.
It's okay, just mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah, anyway, no big deal.
So this is potentially book 2. Anyway.
So, he's trying to kill me. Here we go.
Slightly.
Chapter 7. Weird.
She held her throbbing leg with her throbbing hand as she half walked and half crawled. Ro is having a hard time, Brendan.
The wording is interesting.
That was good.
That's good. We'll talk about that. That's good. You have a lot of good things in there.
Okay.
I like in the beginning how chaotic it is, because clearly that's like what we're going for. We're very much going for like imagine like, you're on the Titanic, it's sinking, and it's also a thunderstorm, and you wake up in the middle of it, floating in the ocean. Like it's just
The worst possible circumstance.
yeah. And you're just trying to like, you can't see anything or hear anything, and you're very disoriented. So that's working out really well.
Sweet.
I really want to talk.
Her
Okay.
nightmare dream.
The reason I like it is because I hadn't actually considered that as a storytelling device for this story.
Dreaming?
This type of, but like not just dreaming, like the dreams could be leading her somewhere where she needs to be, or showing her the future, or all of that. Like,
Right.
there could be a weird, like if she's the chosen, not chosen one, whatever she is, there could be definitely like something speaking to her, and she has to figure out how to interpret it. That would be a cool story, which I know is that tropey? I don't know if that's tropey.
It's a little tropey.
Everything we do here is tropey.
But here's the other thing, though, is I was thinking for this is to bringing every time that Road is considered like changed, like she is a different person now, she's gained a new skill. So I was thinking that we could use this sequence, her standing on top of this hill surrounded by Wraith Walkers, and every time she changes, we see her react to the dream changes. So right now, if she were put in that situation, she would die. like that. But then let's say she gets magic, which we're planning on doing, I think, vaguely.
Well, she'll get her wolf and her hunter powers,
right,
whatever those would be.
Or she gets her hunter powers or gets magic or whatever and starts fighting off the beast, and then in the next one after that it's same thing, but then the wolf comes out, and then like the last one that we show, she actually survives. And so that's just a little thing that we can do to show her growth.
It could keep morphing, and then the end of the book is her actually doing it. It's not a dream anymore. So like she's plagued by these dreams, and maybe that's like how she starts figuring out like, I'm still not ready.
Right.
But then she has the final dream where she still loses, and then she gets put in the real situation and it happens for real. And so she doesn't know if she'll win, and then she wins.
Boom, there you go.
That's really kind of cool.
I like it. And yeah, also, well,
did we mention spoilers?
Oh yeah, we're bad at this.
We're not bad at this. The whole premise of this channel is for them to hear everything.
Everything from the beginning.
But, nice reminder. Lots of spoilers.
She's just brand new in this survival situation. This is a great way to show where she's at. I'm excited to see where she goes with this kind of survivalist situation.
I wonder if we actually split it into 2 chapters and then make each one a little longer, because this would be actually a good ending. So she's had all this chaos. She has a dream. She passes out, has a dream, wakes up, done. Then the next chapter. So like, I think what's going to be hard, and that's why when I was reading it, I started skimming. You did all this exciting stuff, and then it just slows down to nothing. So you should just end the chapter, go to a new chapter with the expectation of like, this is a slow chapter. This is a calmer chapter. And then you can decide what this feels like an end, and then you can decide what the end of the survival chapter is.
Right. It's like a new scene.
She gets her first deer or something.
But yeah, and I guess, okay, here's what I want to talk about.
Let's talk about it. What do you want to talk about, Aiden?
I want to talk about starting over from the beginning.
Oh, dear God.
That's what you should put at the beginning. At the start of this. No, so I think that we have a lot of great stuff, but I feel like this is our Iron Man Mark 1. I feel like we figured out a functioning suit, and I think that we need to start something fresh. All the same pieces, same ideas and stuff, but we need to start it from the ground up and use the bricks to build it.
We need to decide. So like a lot of times what happens, this would happen when I wrote my first draft of my other book. I just wrote it and I got to the end, and I didn't do any continuity editing as I went, and now it's a mess.
Right.
So we need to just decide, like, are we okay with the inconsistencies, and then we go back? Or do we take breaks, go back to the beginning? I don't think we need to rewrite. I think we do what I did before, which was I went back and I just kind of cleaned and maneuvered and added a little and took away, and I just...
Right.
I didn't rewrite it. I just, added a sentence, took out a sentence, changed the wording of this sentence, and made it cleaner.
Yeah.
So we could stop now writing new stuff, go back and do that.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Okay.
Because we also need to rewrite chapter 1 still from Rose's perspective.
So here's why I'm saying we should, because the reason that I'm suggesting it now because I think it's a great part to do this. I think, and when I was reading this and rewriting it, when I was writing it and reading it, it hit me that Rose disappearing could be the end of the first book, because we don't do the town any kind of justice, really. We just kind of skip over all that time, and it would be such a cool cliffhanger for her to disappear. And then the second book is the promise of where did she go?
I think it's too early, though. I don't think there's enough. What would we do with, if that's the end of the book?
I think we need to figure out what kind of story we want it to be, and we need to come up with flaws. We need to properly establish the world. Okay. So here's what I think that needs to happen. The story is with Gaian and Agorath. It's their separation, their breaking apart, right? I think that needs to be the story. We need to contain the world to the town and the surrounding wilderness. And we need to be in the town, and the whole thing is we're not doing an import again, right? Mm-hmm. This is the last one. And that's kind of like the whole decision. And then we can rearrange some things so that it's a little bit more action-y, like Ro becomes magical in a way, master apprentice kind of thing, because it doesn't make sense for for this to be a story about magic if she isn't learning about magic, right? So is this a master and apprentice story? Is this a survivalist story? I was thinking book 2 could be a survivalist story, and then we could say this is what goes into a master and apprentice story. This is every master and apprentice story has that scene where magic is explained. You learn some stuff.
Yeah, but I also like Civil War is a great example. Marvel Civil War. They don't do that with Spider-Man again because they don't need to explain it. I'm not saying that
because we need to explain.
Yes, I understand. But what I'm saying is we don't have to have like the scene that, like, you know.
Well, like you're what I'm saying is that in a survivalist story, there is that scene where they mess up royally bad and it threatens them surviving, like they break a leg or something. There is that scene where they finally get the big kill and they might make it. There's always that scene of what all do I have, right? And I'm not saying that to like cage us into anything, but these are story arcs that people relate to.
I think that the problem though is we're backtracking in a way in the sense that we go back to the original problem, which is why we ended up going with Ro and all the stuff, which was that what's the conflict? Who's the bad guy? What is the ultimate, like, what is, where does it even head to, what, okay, so the beginning's easy, the town, everything's fine, then everything kind of not fine, but they're surviving, whatever. Right. Middle, you don't have a middle because you don't have the end. Again, what's the conflict?
I'm not saying that those are already incorporated in. I'm saying this is another way we could take it and then just focus on the town and then the town ends at the end of the first book. So everything that happened with the Wraithwalkers taking over the town, that's the climactic end and stuff.
So in your version that you're suggesting,
proposing,
we're at the end.
Yes.
We're writing the end.
And it's getting and then they can start thinking like, oh, we have to get the seed planted at this specific spot. And then that's the last thing that we see. In that time, Guyan and Agorath split up. Guyan starts the Knights of Whiteforge, which could just be him and 2 other dudes that are like, we're doing this different, right? And then Agorath needs to, have his fall. And you kind of pick up what I'm laying down.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's enough there, man.
And I'm saying that we need to add more ideas. I'm not saying that there is enough there. I'm saying that we need to consider adding that in there. Because, what are they doing? Well, what is happening? Where are they going? Why are they going?
Yeah.
Who are they going? Like,
I guess I was taking it in the direction of like they start off with this is their home, which obviously needed fleshed out more, and then they're being run from their home, so now they're being chased. So it's a chase survivalist story.
Yeah, but that's like the second book. So in this first book, this first book. But thinking about this like a first book, what if we see, because this is Ro's story, really it is, so we need to change her from, she is a teenage nobody, daughter of a soldier, and then she needs to become one of the most important people in the village and one of the most powerful.
So you're kind of suggesting we do like, I don't even know how to suggest what, like, so essentially you're suggesting we have like book 1 of Harry Potter. She's a nobody, she goes into apprentice training, learns a bunch of things, and then kills a bad guy.
So the conflict could be that there have been people being killed, and then they're sending people into the forest trying to, find out who's killing the people. They think it's a wolf. And the book is called Of Wolves and Wizards, right? And so they're trying to hunt down this wolf and stuff. Ro thinks she just wants to be somebody. She just wants to, like, be more than the eldest daughter, right? And then she's like, how can I prove myself? And then...
So really what we're talking about is going a little bit back to the original conflict, which was between Guyan and Agorath, but it's got to be from Ro's perspective, so you got to bring her in there. So we're talking about the wolves are the bad guys, so we think, and then we find out it's the Wraithwalkers, and that's the ultimate bad guy. That's kind of the twisty twist.
And it starts off with, so beginning scene is they import in, and then they're like, this is it. This is the place.
So then there's a scene with Ro that's kind of like maybe she gets attacked by a wolf or something in the forest and she doesn't want to be helpless anymore or something.
That, or it could just simply be she's a teenager and she wants to be treated like an adult. Like, it's a stupid reason, but
I don't know if it's a strong enough reason. But
teenagers are stupid. But at the same time, it's like she could just be that curious. She could be just that reckless and being like, I wanna be somebody. You know, people aren't always their deepest selves. You know. And so that it could just be kind of part of who she is. So they get there. They're like, this is the place that we're going to stay. The town gets established. We could, maybe it's not so far north that it's perpetual winter, but it's like there's a season here. Mm-hmm. Right? And then they're starting to get attacked. There's some investigation stuff that happens. Maybe we could do the Guy and Agorath split a little bit earlier. Like they are in the process of splitting. Like we speed that up a bit.
We're going to have to bring up his wife and daughter dying. And that's going to have to be pretty central. And that's because we have to have something that's a rift for them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Aiden?
I think there's enough there. I think we just, like, keep skipping because it's just like, I don't know what to do for this. Next.
I just pushing me, man. You're pushing me. It's good. I'm fine with it. My brain is not working yet. I don't see it. I'm not.
Literally think about it like it is a changing of a perspective a little bit. Yeah. And I think you also have to remember that your world is a big world. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of time happening here. Yeah. And literally this whole point of the first part, like we could do 3 books and at the end of the second book, the seed gets planted and that's where it changes the game. Yeah. Right. And then the third book is different because of that, because it changes magic. So I'm saying we need to, you have big ideas for this, like the whole, because you know the history of this thing. You've lived and breathed this.
Well, I'm also like, really the creation of all the stuff that I want should happen like 7 books down the road.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with this conversation.
So here's what we're saying.
I appreciate what you're bringing. I just can't, in my head, it doesn't work yet.
Here's what I'm saying we need to do. And the reason is because I think if we keep going on the trajectory that we're going with, I think we're gonna come up with a mess. And then it's gonna be it's already a mess, and then we're gonna have to change it anyway. Yeah. So I wanna try to circumvent some of that. And what I'm saying is I want to stop writing the story as a line and I want to start writing it as a circle. We're writing the whole thing at the same time. Okay? Yeah. And so I think we need to come up with a list of these are the scenes that need to happen. Like, so we want Ro to start off as stupid teenage girl. Yeah. We want her to end as super awesome hunter magic chick. Okay. Right? What has to there are things that have to happen in between those things. She has to learn magic. Mm-hmm. She has to learn that there's a difference between hunter's magic and this magic. She needs to gain the confidence. She needs to fail tragically. She needs to go out with her mentor or mentors, and they need to go on a mission together. And then you need to have a scene with her and her mom, and you need to have a scene with her and her siblings. Like all the dynamics, we have to have a scene for all of those. So we can actually come out with a to-do list, and then instead of just, I need to write chapter 8. What's chapter 8 about? I don't know. Like, instead we can go, I need to write a scene where Ro and her mom get mad at each other and there's a rift that happens. And then there's a rift, we want them to be healed. And then in the middle of that, they need to be separated. And what does that look like for both of them?
Okay.
We can make this so much easier on ourselves.
We need to wrap this episode up. Aiden's getting a little too fired up.
I am fired.
We need to wrap up the episode, Aiden. So, I appreciate what you're saying. I don't see it yet, but I don't disagree either. So, no, don't try to explain it anymore. Just don't. This has been Writing Quest. I hope you like this episode. This might be the first episode where we've really kind of disagreed heavily.
Which is
good. It's good. It's part of the process, so I appreciate it. So, without further ado, like, comment, subscribe, and
ask questions in the comments. We want to do some more answering your questions, whether it's about your writing, storytelling, what we can come up with, questions about the story itself, or a question about writing.
Exactly. Any kind of question you want about story, writing, whatever. So we'll try to answer things best we can. Yeah. This has been Writing Quest. Glad to see you. Huzzah!